The lights were set, the cameras were prepared, and everyone anticipated another hectic day of hip-hop and love filming. However, what transpired left the cast in shock, the entire production staff in disarray, and the viewers in a state of shock. Rumor has it that a startling confrontation that became intense, personal, and unrestrained caused the filming to abruptly stop. According to insiders, Mendes, who is typically cool under pressure, lost it when his wife Yandy was abruptly pulled into the fire. Voices raised, and the room reportedly froze. Security feared the worst as accusations flowed. Some claim that the fuse was finally lighted by Ciara's unrelenting shade. Others assert that, knowing the tension had been building for weeks, the producers themselves arranged the scene. Regardless of the truth, one thing is for sure. This was not your typical reality drama on TV. This conflict made it difficult to distinguish between the plot and reality. Unprepared, the crew reportedly yelled for the cameras to stop as the mayhem erupted in ways that the script was unable to control. The same urgent question is now being asked by fans. So far, how has it spiraled? And what does this portend for hip-hop and love in the future? Long before the cameras caught that dramatic moment, the tension was simmering beneath the surface of polished smiles, simmering in whispers, shade, and subtle jabs. Although everyone in the cast sensed it, nobody could have foreseen its extent. Not even the chaos-loving producers. The crew anticipated sparks when they gathered that morning. However, they ended up with a firestorm that would completely halt filming. Even his closest friends had never saw Mendes, who was frequently characterized as cool and collected, reach this stage. He had been bearing a lot of weight behind the scenes, protecting his family's reputation while coping with escalating rumors that looked unstoppable. Always composed, Yandy had maintained her composure while sharing positive updates and motivational sayings as if nothing had affected her. However, those who paid close attention saw the tiny fissures that appeared in her armor, the way her tone hardened when her name was brought up in interviews, or the way her gaze lingered on her phone when a mysterious post went viral. Ciara, however, engaged in a different game. Her reputation had been established on her refusal to back down, and this time was no exception. Leaning into the rumors, she made her own suggestive remarks on the internet, implying that the idealized family picture wasn't as wonderful as it appeared. By analyzing every caption, emoji, and subtle jab, fans fanned the flames and quickly transformed rumors into popular subjects. When Ciara said something about loyalty during a group dinner, the laughing and beverages abruptly gave way to stillness, escalating the tension to a breaking point. Yandy attempted to dismiss it, but the harm had already been done. Mendes remained motionless, his jaw clenched, his silence more powerful than words. Social media erupted once more the following day. A post that accused a particular couple of pretending to be happy was liked by Ciara. Everyone knew where the finger was pointing, but no names were mentioned. Yandy replied by sending a family photo and an elegant caption about devotion and love. That's where it ought to have ended, but it just fueled the fires. Producers reportedly took note of the increase in involvement and capitalized on it by purposefully writing sequences that pushed the three of them into one area. What the producers thought was good TV became a risky gamble. When filming started up again, the tension was in the air. While some cast members exchanged anxious looks, the staff murmured about potential security concerns. Ciara showed their grinning as usual, seemingly unconcerned, and browsing through her phone as like nothing had harmed her. Yandy entered calmly, but her smile's stiffness revealed the tempest she was suppressing. Mendes came in stealthily, but the whole room changed with presence. Even though he wasn't supposed to be the main focus of the conversation, his protecting force prevented him from becoming less significant. Cameras rolled, the producers signaled, and the cautiously toned talk started. Ciara was quick to respond when a producer inquired about recent tensions. As she talked about people acting for the cameras, her remarks were laced with accusations. The hush pressed down on everyone in the room as it grew colder. Yandy's response was composed yet firm, allowing Ciara to freely express her opinions. The line was crossed at that point. Leaning forward, Ciara accused Yandy of being deceptive and of playing victim while stabbing people in the back. The cast echoed with gasps. Then everyone looked at Mendes. He moved, warning Ciara not to treat his wife disrespectfully in a steady, low voice. It was an uncommon occasion. The cool man walking into flames. His voice was sharp enough, to make the room quiet. Sierra, however, did not recoil. Rather, she chuckled and made fun of him for jumping to Yandy's support. She implied that he wouldn't be so willing to defend her if he understood everything. Just that suggestion sent shockwaves through the set, making everyone who was watching question and wonder. When Yandy retaliated, her voice rose and her composure broke, accusing Sierra of pursuing influence and attempting to destroy families in order to get attention. The argument quickly became heated, with Sierra getting up and yelling about receipts she said she had. The crew tensed. Phones slid out under tables to record what would turn out to be viral gold as several cast members urgently murmured. Slowly, Mendices ascended, his imposing presence filling the room while cautioning Sierra to retreat. His anger was evident despite the restraint of his words. Sierra persisted in her criticism, implying that Yandy had private discussions and secrets that the public should be aware of. Uncertain on whether to cut or let the cameras roll, the producers paused. What had started out as a dramatic plot thread was rapidly turning into a real conflict that was beyond the scope of the script. Trembling with rage, Yandy yelled back, accusing Sierra of lying and being envious. Her voice cracked. Noise broke out from the cast, with some yelling for silence and others leaning closer, eager to know what would happen next. Security moved to the room's edges, ready to step in. Means, however, was not going to back down. He pointed with his finger. His voice boomed as he charged Sierra with attempting to split up families in order to garner attention. Through the confusion, the weight of his words pierced the atmosphere. With unwavering conviction, Sierra grinned and said something that would reverberate much beyond the set. Perhaps the truth wasn't as powerful as you believed. If it destroys your family. In that moment, the atmosphere broke apart. Yandy lunged forward, but another cast member held him back. Mendices pushed past security as they approached. Sierra was the target of his rage. The room descended into anarchy. Producers yelling to cut, cast members yelling, crew rushing, and cameras recording every moment. The sound of voices clashed like thunder, chairs scraped the floor, and drinks spilt. Television was no longer the exclusive medium. It was unpredictably dangerous and raw. The devastation was evident when the dust eventually settled. Sierra stood resolute, grinning as if she had won some unseen battle, as security held Mendices back. Through the commotion, Yandy's shaky voice could be heard accusing Sierra of attempting to ruin her family. The fire was fanned even more when Sierra yelled back that the truth always comes out. Several cast members whispered that this was too much and that families should never be brought into the mix as they exchanged frightened looks. There was a lot of anxious pacing and whispering backstage. Producers clustered in tense circles, their voices clipped and sharp, while security continued to linger near the exits. While some argued that the sequence should never be shown, others asserted that it was the kind of dramatic climax that might propel the show into the news for weeks. Yandy took a seat and as close friends attempted to comfort her. She was in a corner with her face buried in her hands and tears streaming down her cheeks. Her phone was constantly buzzing with messages from fans, co-stars, and even her kids, who had already seen shaky videos of the altercation that had leaked online. Like wildfire, the leak spread. Love and hip-hop shut down after a heated argument. Drawing thousands of comments within minutes, the caption reads, "As if nothing could touch her, Sierra took out her phone and went live on Instagram. Her makeup smudged from the shouting match, her tone dripping with sarcasm, mocking the notion that she had gone too far. I didn't even say half of what I know," she told her followers, grinning into the camera. "Believe me, I have receipts if they decide to come after me once more." In a matter of seconds, thousands of people watched her live, with some applauding her courage and others denouncing her for pulling families into the mud. The comment section turned into a battlefield of accusations, fire emojis, and requests for evidence. While Means was outside pacing, his voice remained low and guttural, repeating the same words over and over. "She's dragging my wife's name through the mud. I won't let her do that." Security hovered close to him, but gave him space out of caution for the fire still burning in his eyes. Yandy finally stepped. His face softened for a moment, but the storm never really left his eyes. He felt cornered, lured into losing control, and convinced that Sierra had done it on purpose. Outside, her cheeks were wet, her voice trembling. She pleaded with him to stop, whispering, "Every time you fight back, it makes me look guilty," her hands gripping his arm. Podcasts hurried to upload emergency episodes, and fans online analyzed every second of the leaked clip, replaying the moments when Manisa stood, Yandy cracked, and Sierra delivered her smirk. Rashida whispered to a crew member that she had never seen things go this far, not in all her years on the show. Another castmate muttered that if this footage ever made it to air, somebody's career would be over. By the following morning, the controversy had already gotten out of hand, with fan pages flooding timelines with memes, gossip sites publishing articles with titles like "Production Halts Amid Explosive Fight" and "Sierra Claims Yandy is Hiding Secrets," and bloggers crafting headlines that scream chaos, and reaction channels dissecting the body language frame by frame. Hashtags like Team Yandy, Team Sierra, and Protect Mendices trended side by side, drawing the audience further into the spectacle. Public opinion was split straight down the middle, with Yandy supporters filling her comments with love and encouragement, insisting that her reputation as a strong, loyal woman could not be tarnished, while others were less forgiving, questioning why she appeared so fearless. "Drop the receipts, sis," Sierra's supporters encouraged her, asking if she really had nothing to conceal. "Expose everyone," one fan wrote in a comment beneath her most recent post. "Are we prepared?" The attention gave Sierra more confidence, and she responded by sharing a mysterious selfie with the statement, "The truth always comes out." The producers had an emergency meeting behind closed doors, and the tension in the room was high as the showrunner slammed his fist on the table. It was precisely the type of post that sparked more rumors and fueled theories that she actually did have damaging evidence about Yandy's life off camera. He said forcefully, "We have two options: bury this and take the heat for protecting Yandy, or air it and risk the network dropping us." Marketing voices contended that the buzz was too important to waste, while legal counsel threatened legal action. Everyone knew one thing, but no one wanted to make the ultimate decision. The genie has already from the bottle. The word was getting out there, the clips were online, and keeping quiet would only fuel the fires. The consequences extended beyond the performance. Companies associated with both Yandy and Mendices were frantically phoning their managers, threatening to reevaluate their collaborations if the rumors didn't stop. Already rattled, Yandy dreaded years of overnight, meticulous image building might go awry. Strength, poise, and business acumen were the cornerstones of her brand. The rumors now threatened to tear everything apart. Mendices fought his own issues in private, despite being quieter in public. According to friends, he felt stuck and certain that everything he said or did would be misinterpreted in opposition to him. But Sierra loved being the center of attention. As bloggers pleaded with her for interviews, her fan base grew rapidly. Her confidence led admirers to believe she actually had receipts that could destroy Yandy's meticulously manicured image. She fueled the craze by adding, "Captions like lies always come to light, and I said what I said." The perception alone offered her an advantage, whether or not she did. She wasn't just another character in the drama for once. The focal point of it was her. Yandy was troubled by the emotional toll. Rumor had it that her children were pulled into the chaos, with nasty remarks from trolls tagging them. That was the last straw. She reportedly sobbed as she told a friend, "It's one thing to come for me, but don't you dare involve my children." She was more reluctant to comply with the producers' games the more personal the attacks got, because her protective instincts were in overdrive. Fans continued to watch the drama like suddenly. Some started to wonder if the show had gone too far. Was it exploitation or amusement now? Had producers pushed feuds that merged into real life too far? It didn't seem like orchestrated chaos. In the leaked video, it was scary and tempting because it felt uncontrolled and raw. There were rumors of a spin-off while the storm raged. Producers were reportedly thinking of creating a new series about Sierra and her purported truth-telling, according to one blogger. The concept generated equal parts excitement and indignation. While some fans claimed it would be a must-watch show, others claimed it promoted destructive behavior. Whether it was genuine or not, the rumor made an already tense situation even more intriguing. There was one question that persisted throughout. Who was being honest? Was Sierra making something up to gain influence? Or did she actually have information that may destroy Yandy's reputation? Was Menchie just keeping his family safe? Or was he concealing something more significant? Producers' silence merely fueled the flames and allowed rumors to run wild. Filming had been stopped, but the altercation had done more. Fans began to question whether love and hip-hop could ever bounce back from such a storm, as it had rocked the franchise's very basis. The turmoil persisted as the days went by. Rather than subsiding, it swept through social media timelines, podcasts, and blogs like wildfire. People were playing back the leaked videos everywhere you looked, arguing over who was correct and wrong, as well as the true implications of the consequences. Despite the producers' best efforts, the cacophony seemed to get louder every time they tried to manage the story. According to insider rumors, executives were in a panic, not knowing how to manage a franchise that seemed to have slipped through their fingers. Ciara's live performances continued to stoke conjecture. She teased her fans with increasingly cryptic clues every time she went online. Occasionally, she would show a folder on her phone, indicating that she had screenshots. She would occasionally chuckle slyly before stating, "Perhaps the world isn't yet prepared for the truth." Fans bombarded her comments with inquiries, pleading with her to reveal everything. The separation widened as the demand increased. While half of the audience accused her of fabricating tales to gain attention, the other half requested receipts. Her importance was further enhanced by the divisive effect, which kept her name at the top of every headline. Yandy, on the other hand, attempted to adopt the opposite approach. She stepped up her professionalism by sharing videos of her business endeavors, motivational sayings, and well-groomed family portraits. Her post's tone, however, conveyed a different message. Longer, sharper, and more defensive, her captions gave the impression that she was addressing her detractors directly without actually identifying them. Fans took note of the subtle change and made note of it in the comments. "Stay strong, Queen," some people wrote. Others asked why, if she really had nothing to conceal. She felt the need to defend herself. Every post was used as evidence. In a public opinion trial, with strangers serving as the jury and judge, Mendes decided to keep quiet. He withdrew from social media after his furious outburst was caught on camera and shared, leaving followers to speculate. While some maintained that his quiet was a calculated maneuver, others contended that it indicated he regretted the outburst, an effort to keep his wife safe without escalating the conflict. However, in a noisy society, quiet frequently raises more questions than it does answers. What prevented him from defending himself? Were legal teams or producers trying to silence him? Or did he just allow his deeds to speak louder than his words? Alliances within the cast started to change. Some firmly supported Yandy, claiming that Ciara had gone too far in including relatives in the turmoil. In secret, some said that Ciara was merely expressing what many people had been considering but were too scared to express. Off-camera discussions became heated as cast members accused one another of taking sides, promoting blogs and stories for hits, and feigning neutrality while covertly participating in the mayhem. A formerly close-knit, if disorganized, group was now split apart by mistrust and suspicion. Mistrust. Caught in the middle, the producers attempted to take back control by changing the storyline of the season. They put out the notion of a redemption arc in which the conflict would serve as a catalyst for peacemaking. However, the actors weren't cooperating. Without guarantees that Ciara wouldn't bring up his wife again, Mendes wouldn't sit in the same room as her. If her children were brought up again, Yandy threatened to go for a walk. Encouraged by her increase in followers, Ciara, the thought of being silenced made me giggle. To anybody who would listen, she said that she had no fear of producers, contracts, or attorneys. They would need to give her enough money to make it worthwhile for her to keep silent if they wanted her to do so. Of course, fans devoured it. Hour-long analyses of every smile, look, and sentence clip from the leaked video were posted by reaction channels. Some even hired so-called body language specialists to analyze Ciara's eye-rolling, Mendes' forward lean, and Yandy's arm crossing. It was no longer merely a fight. It had evolved into a cultural event that was analyzed like trial evidence. The implications for reality television and whether the boundaries between stage pandemonium and real-life meltdowns had finally been blurred were topics of constant discussion on podcasts, irreparably blurred. As if the controversy wasn't enough, a suspicious screenshot started making the rounds on the internet. It looked like it came from a secret group discussion that had a number of the cast members in it. Ciara's name was tagged in a post about overthrowing the empire. The hazy picture immediately provoked discussion. Is it true? Was it altered? Did that imply that Ciara wasn't acting alone if it was real? As fans pointed fingers at co-stars who had been strangely silent during the storm, rumors began to fly like wildfire. Some thought that a covert coalition was building to expose Yandy and Mendes and undermine their power within the franchise. Others brushed it off as a staged diversion meant to maintain the excitement without exposing anything tangible. In keeping with her customary poise, Yandy posted a piece denouncing the screenshot as hazardous lies in response to the rumors. With words brimming with rage and fatigue, she vowed that she would never allow anyone to destroy her family. Mendes remained mute, which only served to heighten the rumors on social media. Naturally, Ciara fueled the fires without verifying or refuting any of the claims. She left her followers to fill in the blanks, tweeted cryptic laughing emoticons, and liked tweets regarding the screenshot. The network became anxious. Legal teams reportedly intervened, cautioning Ciara and the guys to calm down or face violating their contracts, according to rumors. Financial fines, payment suspensions, or even legal action could result from breaking a contract. Fans were both frightened and enticed by the idea of hip-hop artists and loved fighting it out in court. All of a sudden, the drama extended beyond the events that took place on site. It was about what might occur behind closed doors, in boardrooms, and in courtrooms. Sponsors started to falter as well. According to reports, brands associated with Yandy received anxious emails, fearing that the association might damage their reputation. According to one purportedly leaked email, in contrast, Ciara found herself being courted by fresh chances. If these rumors don't die down, we may have to reconsider our partnership. She had turned herself into the face of controversy, which sells. By positioning herself as the truth teller who wasn't scared to rock the table regardless of the repercussions, she embraced the villain role. The emotional toll kept growing. Exhausted and incensed, Yandy told friends that she felt deceived not only by Ciara but also by the producers who had allowed things to get out of hand. Once her pillar of support, Mendes was overcome with guilt that his explosive defense could have exacerbated the situation. Despite appearing unfazed in public, Ciara confided in close friends that the unceasing attention was too much. Yes, she desired the attention, but she couldn't sleep because of the severity of the blowback, continuously reading through comments that were a mix of hate and praise. The question that hung over everyone's minds was straightforward yet unanswerable. Would the franchise make it through this? Drama had always been the lifeblood of hip-hop and love. However, this was not like the others. This wasn't merely a plot point designed to increase viewership. This was uncooked, personal, and quite harmful. They pulled families in. The producers had lost control of their own work, and their reputations were shattered. Fans were not merely amused. They were involved, analyzing every play as though their thoughts could change the result. Nevertheless, one indisputable fact persisted despite the mayhem. The altercation has become the most talked about event in the show's history. It was still uncertain if it killed the franchise or helped it reach new heights, but its impact was undeniable. Everyone was discussing it, from podcasts about gossip to YouTube breakdowns, from Twitter threads to living rooms. The altercation was no longer just an event. It now served as a metaphor for what occurs when reality TV goes too far and becomes uncontrollable. Whatever happened next was set in motion. However, one thing was evident. The dust was still not settled and will not be settled for some time. Rather, the mystery grew deeper with each new rumor, cryptic post, and leak, drawing supporters deeper into an apparently never-ending maelstrom. Mendes' Yandy and Ciara's altercation sparked a scandal that went beyond a simple love and hip-hop plot. Every aspect of the